Okay, so this video we're now going to be looking at the differences between the apical surface, the basal surface, and the lateral surface. Now, just to be clear, all three of these surfaces are related to epithelial cells. That's what this is about. The epithelial cells. That's what these surfaces are related to. Now, and it's a very simple concept. If you have one epithelial cell, let's just make a little box here. This is an epithelial cell. The top layer is the apical surface. The top, what it's standing on there. The side layer is the lateral surface. And the bottom layer is the basal surface. Now, some of these things, so if we take, for example, the basal layer, we know that under the basal layer here is the basement membrane. That's why we're calling it the basal layer. Then the apical layer, this is the top layer. Now, here's the kind of thing you should remember. The apical layer, this is the one that is sort of, this is open in the lumen. So, for example, let's say you have an esophagus, somebody eating, right? The apical layer is what faces the tunnel. It's what faces it here. So the apical layer is here of these epithelial cells. Now, the side layer, the lateral layer, is related to the cells next to it. Now, why is that important? Because if you have a disease that's in here, most likely it's going to move through the lateral surface and transfer over. Now, again, the apical layer is what is facing the world, so to say, or facing, like if you have food coming down here, it's all, the apical layer is what sees the food coming down. This is the apical layer. Now, the apical layer also has a lot of things that secrete mucus and other important functions that go on here, but that's sort of the way you should look at this. The basal layer is what's deep. It's what's under here. So if you have the apical layer here, then you have the side layer, which would be the cells next to it. And then under that apical layer, you have that basal layer under here. Then some more connective tissue going in. But the point is that the apical layer is what is facing the lumen. If you have, for example, an esophagus here. Also in the female reproductive area, same idea. So that's the way you want to remember this. The apical layer is what, is sort of the one that's facing the world. The lateral layer is what's connected to the other epithelial cells next to it, and the basal layer is kind of what is the feet of the epithelial tissue, epithelial cell.